There's a moment after divorce when you look at your bank account and realize, this is all mine now. For some women, that moment feels terrifying. The money is less than you're used to. The responsibility is heavier. The decisions are all yours. You're carrying financial weight you've never carried alone before. For others, that moment feels liberating. Nobody's questioning your purchases. Nobody's criticizing your spending. Nobody's making financial decisions that affect you without your input. You're finally in control. Most of us feel both, terror and liberation all at once. Today, we're talking about one of the most overlooked parts of divorce recovery: financial independence. Not the mechanics of budgeting or investing, we're not financial advisors, but the mindset shift. The emotional journey from we to me, from joint accounts to solo accounts, from financial partnership to financial autonomy. We're talking to women who went from completely dependent to completely independent. Women who rebuilt their financial confidence from zero. Women who discovered that managing their own money, even when there's less of it, can be one of the most empowering parts of divorce. Because here's what nobody tells you: financial independence isn't just about money. It's about power. It's about self-trust. It's about proving to yourself that you can take care of you. Let's talk about building financial confidence as a single woman and why it changes everything. The emotional weight of money. Before we talk about empowerment, let's acknowledge the fear. Money after divorce is heavy. Even if you got a fair settlement, even if you're financially stable, the shift from two incomes to one, from shared responsibility to solo responsibility, is jarring. You're carrying expenses that used to be split: rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, kids' activities, healthcare, car payments. Everything that used to be ours is now mine. The numbers don't change, but your portion of them does. You're making decisions alone. No one to consult, no one to blame if it goes wrong. Every financial choice is yours. That freedom is terrifying until you learn to trust yourself. You might be starting from scratch. Maybe you weren't the one who handled the finances in your marriage. Maybe you don't know what bills are due when. Maybe you've never invested or saved independently. You're learning as you go. There's shame attached to money. Women told us they felt embarrassed asking friends for financial advice, embarrassed admitting they didn't know basic things, embarrassed that they needed to budget carefully while their ex seemed fine. The comparison trap is real. You see him maintaining his lifestyle or upgrading it while yours shrinks. You see your married friends going on vacations you can't afford. Social media shows you everyone else's financial success while you're clipping coupons. And then there's the biggest fear. What if I can't do this? What if I fail financially on my own? What if I can't provide for myself and my kids? That fear is real. It's valid. And it's also conquerable, because thousands of women before you have walked this path and made it to the other side, not just surviving financially, but thriving. Jessica's story: from dependent to empowered. Jessica had never managed money in her life. Her parents controlled her finances growing up. Then she married young and her husband took over. He handled everything: bills, investments, savings, taxes. He gave her an allowance for household expenses. She had a credit card, but he reviewed every purchase. For 16 years, Jessica never had to think about money. And she thought that was a good thing. She thought he was taking care of her. After the divorce, she opened her first solo bank account at 38 years old. She stared at the balance, her half of their savings, and had no idea what to do with it. She didn't know how much her life cost per month. She didn't know when bills were due. She didn't know how to budget or invest or plan for retirement. She was financially illiterate at 38 because she'd been financially dependent her entire adult life. The first 3 months were brutal. She overdrew her account twice because she forgot about auto payments. She missed a credit card payment and got hit with fees. She realized she was spending way more than she was earning and had no idea where the money was going. She felt like a failure, like she'd never be able to manage on her own, like she needed someone else to take care of this for her. But something in her refused to stay dependent. She'd left her marriage to be free. She couldn't be truly free if she couldn't manage her own money. So she educated herself. She took a financial literacy class at her local library. She watched YouTube videos about budgeting. She read books on personal finance written for beginners. She used budgeting apps to track every dollar. She started small. She figured out exactly what her life cost per month. Rent, utilities, groceries, gas, insurance. Everything that used to be ours is now mine. She created a budget that actually worked for her income. She set up automatic payments so she'd never miss a bill. She opened a high-yield savings account and automated transfers so she was paying herself first. She started learning about investing, retirement accounts, building credit. Within 6 months, Jessica felt like a different person. She knew exactly where her money was going. She had an emergency fund for the first time in her life. She was making financial decisions with confidence. She was in control. Jessica told us the moment everything shifted was when she realized, I'm better at managing money alone than we ever were together. I'm more intentional, more careful, more aware. I'm financially healthier as a single woman than I was as a married one. That realization was powerful. She wasn't less capable without him. She was more capable. She just needed to learn, and she did. Jessica is 43 now. She owns her own small business. She's building wealth. She's teaching her daughters financial literacy so they never feel dependent on anyone. And she says financial independence was the key that unlocked every other kind of independence in her life.
Building financial confidence. So how do you build financial confidence when you're starting from a place of fear or ignorance? Step 1, know your numbers. You can't manage what you don't measure. You need to know exactly what your life costs. Sit down with 3 months of bank and credit card statements. Categorize every expense. Housing, food, transportation, utilities, kids, entertainment, everything. Be honest. Don't judge yourself. Just gather data. Add it up. That's your baseline. That's what your life actually costs, not what you think it costs. Then compare that to your income. Are you spending more than you earn? Are you breaking even? Do you have money left over? This exercise is scary, but essential. You can't make a plan until you know where you're starting from. Step 2, create a realistic budget, not a fantasy budget where you never eat out and never buy anything. A realistic budget that reflects your actual life. List your fixed expenses, rent, insurance, loan payments, then your variable expenses, groceries, gas, kids' needs, then your discretionary spending, coffee, entertainment, shopping. Be honest about what you need versus what you want, but also give yourself grace. You're going through a divorce. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be functional. Build in a buffer for unexpected expenses because life happens. And build in a category for joy. Money you can spend guilt-free on things that make you happy. Financial health isn't just about restriction, it's about intentionality. Step 4, pay yourself first. Before you pay bills, before you buy groceries, save something, even if it's $20, even if it's $10. Set up an automatic transfer from checking to savings on payday. Make saving non-negotiable. You're building an emergency fund that will give you peace of mind and financial stability. Start with a goal of $500, then $1,000, then 3 months of expenses. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen if you're consistent. Step 4, separate needs from wants. This is hard but crucial when money is tight. You need housing, food, utilities, transportation, healthcare, basic clothing. You want nice dinners out, new clothes, expensive activities, vacations. When you're rebuilding financially, prioritize needs. Reduce wants temporarily. That doesn't mean deprive yourself of all joy. It means be intentional about where your money goes. And remember, this is temporary. As you build financial stability, you'll have more freedom for wants. But right now, you're building a foundation. Step 6, set financial goals. Give yourself something to work toward beyond just get through this month. Maybe your first goal is building that emergency fund, or paying off a credit card, or saving for something specific your kids need. Write it down. Make it specific and measurable, track your progress, celebrate when you hit milestones. Having goals transforms money management from deprivation to empowerment. You're not just restricting spending, you're working towards something that matters to you. Step 7, celebrate your wins. You paid all your bills on time this month? That's a win. You added $50 to savings? That's a win. You said no to an impulse purchase? That's a win. Financial confidence builds through small victories. Acknowledge them. Celebrate them. You're doing something hard and you're doing it. Maria's story. Financial freedom. Maria's financial story was different. She'd always worked and earned well. Money wasn't the issue. Control was. Her ex-husband was financially abusive. He controlled all the accounts, even though she earned more. He questioned every purchase she made. He made her justify spending on herself, but spent freely on himself. He used money as a weapon to keep her small and dependent. When she left, she had money, but she didn't have financial confidence because she'd been conditioned to believe she was bad with money, irresponsible, impulsive. The first time Maria bought something expensive without asking permission, without justifying it, without feeling guilty, she cried. It was a new laptop. She needed it for work, she could afford it, but the act of spending money on herself without someone criticizing her, questioning her, making her feel foolish was overwhelming. She realized how deeply the financial control had damaged her sense of autonomy. Maria spent a year unlearning the shame around spending, relearning that she was allowed to make financial decisions, that she was competent and trustworthy with money, that spending on herself wasn't selfish or frivolous. She worked with a therapist who specialized in financial trauma. She joined a support group for women recovering from financial abuse. She practiced making financial decisions without seeking validation or permission from anyone. Slowly, she rebuilt her financial confidence. Not by learning to budget, she already knew how to do that, but by learning to trust herself. Maria told us, financial independence after financial abuse is psychological. It's unlearning the voice in your head that says you can't be trusted with money. It's realizing that voice was his, not yours, and you can choose not to listen to it anymore. Now Maria makes financial decisions with ease. She invests, she saves, she spends on things that bring her joy without guilt. She's teaching her daughter that financial autonomy is a form of self-respect. And she says the moment she knew she was healed was when she splurged on a weekend trip without justifying it to anyone, including herself. She wanted it, she could afford it, she did it, and she felt nothing but joy. That's financial freedom. Not just having money, but having the confidence to manage it on your terms.
The freedom of me money. Here's what women told us about the unexpected gifts of managing their own money. You learn what you actually value. When every dollar is yours to allocate, you get clear fast about what matters. You stop spending on things you don't care about because someone else wanted them. You spend on what brings you joy. You develop self-trust. Every good financial decision you make proves to yourself that you're capable. That confidence spills into every other area of life. You stop comparing. When you're managing your own money with your own goals, what other people are doing matters less. You're on your own path. You feel powerful. There's something deeply empowering about earning, managing, and spending your own money. You're not dependent on anyone. You're taking care of yourself. You teach your kids differently. Single moms told us they involve their kids in age-appropriate financial discussions. They teach budgeting, saving, earning. They're raising financially literate children because they learned the hard way how important it is. You make better decisions. When it's your money and your responsibility, you think more carefully. You're more intentional, you waste less, and you discover you need less than you thought. Many women said they were surprised by how content they became with less. Smaller home, fewer possessions, a simpler life, and they were happier. Financial independence isn't just about having enough money. It's about knowing you can take care of yourself, that you're resourceful, capable, resilient, that you don't need someone else to survive. That knowledge changes everything. Overcoming financial setbacks. Let's be real, you will have setbacks. You'll overdraw your account. You'll have an unexpected expense that wipes out your savings. You'll make a financial mistake. The car will break down, the kids will need something expensive. Life will happen. These setbacks don't mean you're failing. They mean you're human. What matters is how you respond. Do you shame yourself and give up? Or do you assess what happened, adjust your plan, and keep going? Women who build lasting financial confidence told us they learn to separate mistakes from failure. A mistake is a learning opportunity. Failure is only permanent if you quit. They also learned to ask for help when they needed it. Financial coaches, support groups, knowledgeable friends. There's no shame in not knowing everything. There's only shame in refusing to learn. And they learned that financial health is a practice, not a destination. You don't achieve it and then you're done. You keep working at it, adjusting as life changes, staying intentional about your relationship with money. Setting your first financial goal. So if you're newly single and trying to figure out where to start, here's what we recommend. Set one financial goal, just one. Not 10, not a complete financial overhaul, one goal that feels achievable and meaningful. Maybe it's saving $500 for an emergency fund. Maybe it's paying off one credit card. Maybe it's going 1 month without overdrawing your account. Maybe it's learning enough about investing to open a retirement account. Pick something that matters to you. Write it down. Make a plan, track your progress. And when you achieve it, celebrate. Then set the next goal. Financial confidence builds through accumulated small victories. You don't need to have it all figured out today. You just need to take one step towards stability and empowerment. And remember, you're not just managing money. You're building a new relationship with yourself. You're proving that you can take care of you, that you're trustworthy, capable, and strong. Every bill you pay on time is evidence. Every dollar you save is evidence. Every good financial decision is evidence that you can do this. And you can. You absolutely can.
Here's what I want to ask you today. What's the first financial goal you set for yourself post-divorce? Or if you're still in the process, what goal do you want to set? Share in the comments. Tell us what you're working toward. Tell us what financial confidence looks like for you. Tell us what's been hard and what's been surprisingly empowering. Because financial independence is one of those things that sounds scary and overwhelming until you start doing it. And then you realize it's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about learning. It's about taking control of your life $1 at a time. You don't need to be rich to be financially confident. You just need to know your numbers, have a plan, and trust yourself to execute it. And if you're starting from a place of complete financial ignorance or dependence, that's okay. Jessica did. Maria did. Thousands of women have. They learned. They grew. They became financially independent. And so will you. In our next video, we're finally diving into the topic we've been building toward, rebuilding your identity after divorce. Who are you when you're not defined by your marriage? How do you reconnect with the woman you were before? How do you discover the woman you're becoming? It's time. Until then, take one step toward financial confidence. Open that savings account. Track your spending for 1 week. Set that first goal. Just one step. That's all you need to start. From we to me isn't just about money. It's about autonomy, self-trust, and power. You're not just learning to manage your money. You're learning to manage your life. And you're doing it one decision at a time, $1 at a time, 1 day at a time. You've got this, and your future self is already thanking you for starting today.